We're here with Korey Riggs. He's director of the Chileno Bay and El Dorado Foundations. Korey, thank you for your time this morning.
No, thank you. This is great.
I'm very interested in your work and your profile and the way you approach things here in Los Cabos. I see you. I don't know if you agree, but I see you as someone who sits at a cultural crossroads, because your work mediates between different communities that are often very different in terms of wealth and in terms of nationality and culture. Do you agree with that? And how do you, if you do, how do you experience it?
One of the best questions I've ever been asked.
Thank you.
Really, it's a great question. Interesting to sit in the middle of not only the levels of wealth, but also so many cultures. And that's what I think makes Los Cabos so special. I love it here because of that, because there's wealthy and there's very poor. And there's also, Americans, Canadians, and Mexicans. And what I see in Los Cabos is so interesting compared to, especially right now in the United States, which is politically a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
I see Cabo doesn't have any of that. Like, people just come down here and they want to help the community, and people really work together. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that I see here. In terms of culturally, I mean, there's a lot of differences between Americans, Canadians, and Mexicans in the way that we see the world, the way we see time, the way we see family, the way we see many, many things. And so Cabo is a little bit of a hybrid of all of that together. The reason why I love living in Mexico is I'm probably much more Mexican now than I am American. And I'm married to an Israeli who's a Mexican, and I have a child who's a Chileno. 100%. I think it's an incredible place, and I love what I do.
I heard a story recently. An American donor, very interested in promoting sports here, but he was adamant on starting a football academy and doing a football field. And the other side of the equation was like, football is not really like American football. Football is not really the sport that will be the best fit for here. Like, people here love baseball. That's what they do. I mentioned this because there was a preconception from the donor that kind of made his very good intentions to help perhaps not so effective, and he had to be like channeled and taught about what really works here. So I mentioned this because I want to ask you, what do you think is the biggest misconception that your donors have about Baja?
That case that you just mentioned, I'm not familiar with that. It doesn't surprise me, because people that are donors that really want to give, they come with a lot of emotional wanting to do good, and so there's a lot of emotions involved, and it's probably something they've done somewhere else. One of the things about being in a different culture, sometimes you have to pull back a little bit and really understand what's needed.
Yes.
And it's, we've seen it all over the world. I mean, throughout history, where one culture comes in and thinks that there's a better way to do something. There's a lot of donors that want to do good, and part of the work is to channel and to say, hey, here's what works here and here's why, but really explain it and understand. I mean, American football, it's not a big thing here, for example, the example you just gave, but soccer is, and baseball and other things, and so and if you do the project correctly, you can have both.
Exactly.
You could have baseball field, a soccer field, and an American football field, and you could do all of it.
And what about the other side? Do you find there are certain misconceptions from the communities when they look at the projects that are there for ultimately helping them? Do you think that also happens?
I think that people are very grateful here. I think that's one of the reasons why people like to help, is there's just a gratitude that is very, very profound. And I mean, here there's so much to do. There's so many things to do. It's like the Wild West. There's not a lot of services, and it's an area that's full of wealth. What's really great about what we're doing is, once people know that there's a huge need, because most people, even people that have been here, Mexicans that have lived here for many years, have no idea that there's this whole area, these barrios out here that are like slums.
Yeah.
And when you take people out, people go, oh wow, we need to do something.
Yes.
And so that's what I found is people are in general very generous and they want to help. And our job in the foundation world is really to channel that help and to find ways to ensure that there's transparency, to ensure that we find an avenue. So if people need a tax receipt in the United States, if they need a tax receipt in Mexico or even in Canada, there's an organization that does that here. There's ways that we can help.
So about the projects specifically that we are going to discuss right now, Christian, who's behind the camera, he's with Destino. He recently had an experience. His niece needed a blood transfusion, and it was hard because she had to go to La Paz. It was a whole complication.
Mm-hmm.
She's fine right now.
Good.
But that's one of the things why it was very interesting for us to come and talk to you about the blood bank project that you are leading. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so when I first arrived here, in 2008. I was the director of Los Cabos Children's Foundation.
Okay.
And one of the things we were working on at that time was to bring cancer treatment for children to this area. At that time, any child that had cancer had to be sent to Culiacan, or we would send them to the United States.
Okay.
One of the things we wanted to do was bring cancer treatment to Baja California Sur. We had to start with a blood bank because to treat cancer, you need blood.
Yes.
And so we actually, at that time, I worked with Gay Thatcher, who runs Amigos de los Niños, and she was in charge of the Santa Josefina Blood Bank. We created a blood bank. Los Cabos Children's Foundation was mostly the funder for that. Mm-hmm. The blood bank operated from 2008 to about 2012, I believe. It went out of business. And it went out of business for a variety of reasons, but a lot of misconceptions. But it was actually a community blood bank that was giving blood to all the hospitals. So at that time, if someone got in an accident, there was blood available. Or the case you just mentioned of his niece, she would have blood available, wouldn't have to go to La Paz or bring their own donors. For various reasons, that blood bank went away, but we've decided that, hey, we need a blood bank here. This is a little bit crazy with the level of wealth that's here, the level of development, the number of people here, and that the closest blood is 2.5 hours away.
Yes.
And even if it's 2.5 hours away, sometimes there's not the blood there. Like you even have to bring your own donors to the community blood bank in La Paz. So we want to ensure that doesn't keep happening. So we are putting together a consortium of different foundations and businesses. It's all under the auspices. It's called the Los Cabos Community Alliance.
Okay.
It's a group of foundations and businesses and the government working together for the good of Los Cabos. We're probably a month away from launching this project, and it's going to include, we have board members that are from Los Cabos Children's Foundation, from El Dorado Chileno Bay Foundation, Amigos de los Niños. We have the Cove Club. Mm-hmm. They have the foundation called the Heart and Soul Foundation, the Cadencia Foundation,
yes.
Twin Dolphin Foundation. And so we're really looking, how do we get all these developments working together to make Los Cabos a better place? Mm-hmm. The blood bank affects everyone. Yeah. This is not just people that don't have the means to get medical. This is everyone. This is no matter who you are, if you're visiting here, this is all the tourists. So this should interest everyone here. And we're looking to get funding from all the hotels, from the businesses. The first blood bank we had in 2008, 2012, we had a lot of the hotels. They would pay $5,000 a year. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of the HOAs involved, which we were looking to do that again. It's just a service that we have to have here for the people that visit us, definitely. For our families, the people that are working here. It's really cool to have everybody working together towards that goal.
So you found that people are really uniting behind the banner, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been working to unite people since really we started in 2019, right before the pandemic in 2020, which we're board members of the Baja California Sur Community Alliance. Okay. Which ended up being 200 businesses, foundations, and the government. And we worked together over 7 months to deliver 94,000 families food during the pandemic, door to door. Mm-hmm. We had the military going out in big convoys. That was almost half the population of Baja California Sur got food from that alliance. Okay. And that absolutely kept the place safe. But that was the beginnings of working together. We have this Los Cabos Community Alliance that has come together to provide buses for children to go up to La Paz. There's no specialty medical care in Los Cabos, which we'll talk about in a minute. But so the children have to go up to La Paz. And if you don't have a lot of means, you have to take a day off work. Maybe you have other children. Who's going to watch those other children?
Yeah.
You need to find a bus if your child's in a wheelchair because they need to go to the CRET in La Paz. Where are you going to put the wheelchair? You need to pay for the bus ticket. And so we wanted to get a whole group of people together. There's 2 buses now that any foundation can use the buses. It's part of the Los Cabos Community Alliance. Telethon actually runs the buses. It's absolutely a service that these children deserve. It gives them dignity.
Yeah.
They're fun. These buses are fun. They look like cartoons on the outside. It's the Adventure Submarine and the Whale of Freedom. And they're beautiful buses that you can see driving down the road. But that's really how this alliance started, and we've done the CRET together. So with this alliance as well.
So tell us about that. Tell us about the CRET. What is it?
So the CRET is a world-class physical rehabilitation center for children.
It's a CRIT.
CRIT. It's an acronym for Centro Rehabilitación Integral. It's run by Telethon, which is the biggest foundation in Mexico. We're number 27, so this is the 27th CRET. It's the first time ever that a CRET has been totally privately funded.
Okay.
So we raised $14.5 million, of which $9 million is used to build it, and then $5 million is for 5 years of operation. That's how CRET does it. They want you to also pay for operations. So, and we like to do projects like that, and we'll do that with the blood bank. We'll raise 5 years of operation as well when we build it. But the CRET is the start of a children's medical campus, and that's bringing specialty medical treatment here. So all the children don't need to go to La Paz.
Okay.
A lot of people came together. We have a land donation of 7 hectares, which is the CRET's part of that. And then we're looking to do an autism center, possibly children's clinic, and some other elements will go on that campus. But that's all part of this Los Cabos Community Alliance, and everyone working together to make this place better for everyone.
Yeah, what you mentioned about operating the CRET and the other project as well, the blood bank as well.
Yes.
Okay. So that's interesting because it kind of shifts the focus from short-term immediate impact to more like a legacy kind of work that is like, this is going to be running for decades, ideally for generations, right? So do you find there's a tension in your work between in philanthropy between wanting to make an immediate impact and then the demands of running something for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years?
Yeah, I think it's very important to do both. So you need to make an immediate impact and make it a legacy project, and that's how we have organized our foundation. And this alliance I was speaking about is it's easy to go out, and it doesn't sound easy sometimes when it's a big number, but it's easier to go out and raise money for a building, for example. But to raise money for operations of different foundations or even a school, one of the projects is we have a school in Caribe Bajo that's just amazing, what you need to go see.
Yes.
We'll take you out there. But it's easy to raise money for the buildings, but how about the operations? And so one of the things we like to do with any of our projects is, first of all, make sure there's a need, put the project together, and then also raise money for 3 to 5 years of operation, which gives the foundation that's running the project, the nonprofit running the project, time to understand what's happening and to start raising their own money. We don't ever want to make someone dependent on one foundation, one group of people. They need to have it set up correctly so that they can operate without the original people that helped get it going.
And that's another theme that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I suspect there's another tension in the kind of work that you do between top-down work and then community-driven, their participation in fueling and maintaining the project. Because I suppose that when you are into your 10th year, and not even your 10th year, but after the building is finished and everything is running, the community, the actual community, I mean the families of the children that are being benefited by your project, they have to be super involved every day to make it work, right? So
Totally.
so how do you sort of harmonize the top-down kind of movement with a community grassroots kind of motion?
It's very important to fund projects that the person that's leading the project is all in. And what I mean by that is it's their life. They're passionate about it. They love what they do. And that's really how we pick the projects that we're going to work with, because we're not, there's 4 people that work in my foundation. There's 2 main people, and then we have a couple of contractors that help us out. So we're not running any projects. We're basically fundraising, helping to coordinate, putting people together. And we want to ensure that these projects are long-term. And the only way you do that is you make sure that the people you're working with, they're all in, they're 100%. This is what they do. This is their life.
Yes.
And you can tell the difference between someone that has a job and someone that this is their life. And donors can too. And they feel that. And that's why I'm so honored to be working with Teleton, so honored to be working with Patty, who runs the school, the food bank, ASA, which is the Food Security Alliance. It's just those 3 main ones. The blood bank now, Gay Thatcher, who used to run the blood bank before, is going to be doing that. Dr. Tanaka from the ATM Blood Bank, which is a for-profit, and we're merging our nonprofit into it. So it's a hybrid, and it's going to be incredible for the community. These are people that are all in, and we also are doing a Spay and Neuter clinic, and we're doing that in collaboration with PET, Aida Trijo.
I know Aida.
Aida, yes. She's amazing.
And that's so necessary.
We just got it funded.
We
just got it funded, and we're looking to do a bigger shelter, possibly close to this campus. And one of the ideas is to turn all the street dogs that we see into service animals for the children. And so we have someone that is a dog whisperer who is interested in doing that.
What are you going to do
Cats also, no, cats also, dogs are more service animals. Yeah. Cats are more, you can pet them.
Yeah, if they let you.
I love the difference between a dog and a cat. I don't know if you know what it is. If you pet a dog, they think you're God. If you pet a cat, they think they're God.
Yeah.
So that's definitely true. But there's it's really, the work that we're doing is very integrative, the whole community. It's the helping the animals is helping the kids, helping create a healthier environment. Yes. And it's also good for the donors to know that, hey, whatever you're passionate about, we can find a way. This donor you mentioned that wanted the football field, we can find a way. There's a way, and there's a way to make it a win-win for everyone. Because I do know there's more and more American football here. Yeah. So there's a way to bring it all together. And there's also some incredible professional football athletes that come down here. The San Francisco 49ers just came down, and they did a whole nonprofit exercise down here. And we're going to hopefully do something with them next year. That's inspiring a lot of the children here to get involved in American football. And so there's a lot of professional American athletes that call this home as well, and they have gotten involved in the foundation as well. So we're very excited. We can bring everybody and do a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, basketball as well.
Basketball is huge.
Yeah. So. Finally, Korey, I'm interested in how you measure success. I'm sure you have your standard KPIs and you follow them pretty strictly, but beyond those, what does success in a specific project mean to you?
Success is when you see a child getting success. This is success for me. Getting a service that they never had before, and getting it with joy, and creating an environment for their family where everyone in the family can be successful, because they're not having to spend all of their money or their time on one child, and they can actually spend time with the whole family. They can spend time at work. They can better their lives because we've been able to provide a basic service for them here that they're not having to run out and find. Yes. Because as you know, I'm assuming you have children, you would do anything for your child to make sure that they were healthy, they have the best education, they have the best opportunities in life, and everyone's the same. And when we give that opportunity to a child and their family, we're being successful. Okay. And that's really how we measure it.
No, thank you, Korey.
No, thank you. Thank you for
Great conversation.
No,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Appreciate it.